Hello again. I am trying to work out which zips and which fabrics to go with these fabrics that I bought on Etsy. I have several options as far as zips are concerned. I just also realised that one of these greens will go quite nicely with this fabric, which I hadn't considered. So I have an option there, but also which fabrics to use as contrast. I only bought the main fabrics. I didn't buy any contrast fabrics. So my preferred bag design is a, oh, this one's chock full. Let me use this one. Is a straight zip top, but with a box bottom. So I brought a couple of previous ones I've made upstairs so that I can get an idea of the sizes that I want. I'm kind of determined on size width by the zip size. These are the largest zips that I have, which are the same as these. The green ones are slightly longer. But depth wise, I'm not determined by that. What I'd like to do, I think, is make the contrast maybe a little bit deeper. Maybe not shorten this section, maybe just make the whole bag just that little bit deeper. I'm not sure yet. It also depends on my fabric. I have quite a bit. I have a fat, well, it's not really a fat quarter, it's more like a quarter metre, because in the UK we work metres, not yards, when it comes to fabrics. So I have a quarter metre of this. It's a fat, I suppose technically it's still classed as a fat quarter, but it's not an imperial fat quarter. And I also have a half yard of each of these. What I do have is lots of scrap fabrics. So I have some, like a dark, it's looking quite warm on camera, but it's quite a dark cool brown that I think would go nice with this one. These look quite nice together, and it would also, actually it would look nice with any of them, to be perfectly honest. I quite like it with the mushroom one. The brown mushrooms are, that is much more true to what colour they are. This dark brown, and the brown fabric, although it's looking warm on camera, is quite close in colour in real life to those mushrooms. But I also have a very small piece of this beige fabric, which would also go quite well with the mushrooms. That's my elbow, me thunking my elbow on the table. This fabric, I have a couple of options. I have this that I have left over from an autumn quilt several years ago, so that could work. I also have this top that originally I was going to adapt because it is too small for me. I picked this up from the charity shop, so those could work together. I don't have enough of this for the lining of a bag, just for the contrast bottom, I think. I'm not sure. And I also have this, but I think I would probably use that for lining, but it's quite thick, so I'm not sure on that one either. What I do have for linings is I have some plain pale yellow. Mostly the linings on bags I'm not too bothered about. Usually I prefer a light colour, just so you can see inside if you've got needle tips, or the end stop, the little bags with end stops for your needle cables. So I do have like a full sheet of this pale yellow, which I could use for, well, any of them really. I also have this scrap of like a brown with green swirly flowers that I could use for the liner for this one. But again, I'm not sure because I prefer usually a light coloured liner. At a push, I have some, I think I'm going to discard the pink because I have plenty of yellow, so I don't need that one. I also have some green fabric. Oh, I have some more green fabric. I don't want to cut into that because it's a full size piece of fabric and I haven't made a dress with it yet. So I have some scrap, kind of mid-green cotton, what's it called where it's slightly shiny cotton? Anyway, is it a chintz? I can't remember now, but a slightly shiny cotton, which is less shiny on one side than the other. But I have this mid-green. I don't think I like that with that. What about the mushroom one? Maybe. I still prefer the brown. And it goes quite nice with the blue. I know blue and green should never be seen because it's got green fronds in it. But I feel like it kind of pulls away from the autumn feel. So I think I'll stick with brown with that. So we can discard the green as well. So I kind of narrowed it down. So I'm thinking this one with one of these or both of these to use them up. And dark brown for the bottoms on the other ones. And then the lining, maybe I'll just do all of the lining in the pale yellow. Just to be done with it. Oh, I also have that mushroomy coloured. Because I have so much of the main fabric, I can make several bags. The thing is, they take so long to make. I did a batch of project bags as gifts for myself. Well, not a gift for myself. Well, I suppose a gift for myself, for my mum and a good friend of mine for Christmas, probably 3 years ago maybe. And I got a conveyor belt basically going. I did each stage in batches, but it still took a good couple of days to do, and I think I did maybe I didn't do that many, maybe 6 bags, possibly 8 bags, and it took quite a long time. So I suspect this is going to be a 2-day job as well, and we're already at lunchtime already because it's been quite a slow start so far today. We have put the desk up here. I don't know if you can see over my shoulder. The desk is now upstairs, which is brilliant. I now have another surface, although I don't think I took into account just how sloping our ceilings are, and I'd forgotten just how tight the space that is to put the sewing machine when I had the previous table up here. But at least I have another surface, and I will manage. I will just pull the desk out as far as I need to be able to fit my bobbin on the top of the machine. At least now I've got the full table without having to have the sewing machine on here as well. What I do need is to sort out a pressing pad. I usually use, or I have been using, just this plain white top sheet, folded into, so that it's a reasonable size, but it's still several layers thick, and laying it on the end of this table, which I think I'm going to have to do again. I could bring up my ironing board, but I think it would take up too much room in here to justify doing it. It would be very awkward. I already have my big, one of my big studio lights up in here to give me some more light. I do need to sort out the light situation in this room. The spotlights that are in here, I think are only 3-watt LEDs. They used to have 1-watt LEDs in here and you couldn't see anything. But I think I'm going to have to find some brighter ones. But I also want to get I don't know what the proper term for them is, but like a crafting light with a high strength bulb in it, like having my studio lights, although obviously not as big as that. But something that's more compact, either that I can clip onto whatever work surface that I'm using, or a floor standing one. I think it would probably be a clip-on one, but that's not happening in the next couple of weeks anyway. I need to sort out other things in here first. Plus, I just want to crack on with some sewing. I've been waiting for this room to be usable again for a few weeks, so that's where I'm currently at. I also need to find my pack of interfacing, which everything that was in here got dumped in the spare room, so I'm going to have to try and find that, and my bobbins, and my cottons, my threads. What else am I forgetting? I will leave the link to the instructional video that I use for making my box bags down below. I do adapt it ever so slightly. I don't make the bottoms quite as deep a fabric. I think she uses half of a fat quarter for the top half of the bag and half of a different fat quarter for the contrast on the bottom. Normally I don't do that, but thinking about it, maybe that's not such a bad idea. That would make a nice deep bottom on the bags. But she also does a box top, a smaller box top on the top of the bags, and I don't like a box top on my project bags. I much prefer just a straight one. I don't know, it feels, I did make one like that once before and I never use it. I find it awkward to use. I much prefer just a straight zip top. So I'm going to make some final decisions on these fabrics, start cutting out pieces and find this interfacing. And then once I've paired up the fabrics properly, I can really decide which zip colours I'm going to use. Because I think with the brown fabric with this, the brown zip would look really nice. But I also have navy blue as an option. And I might do a couple of sock project bags as well, because all my sock project bags are Christmas project bags. They all have Christmas patterns on them. A lot of my project bags are Christmas fabrics, like this one that has gingerbread cookies on it. The only other ones I really have that are not festive are, I guess you could technically class it, some people would class this as Halloween. This is an everyday bag for me. It has witches and black cats and crows on it. But all my smaller ones, all the ones for socks, are all Christmas ones, I think. So I need some autumn ones, because I have 2 pairs of socks on the needles and I'm itching to cast on a 3rd pair. So I need autumn project bags. So I ended up finding another fabric that I could use with this brightly coloured one. I found this green gingham in my stash and I thought it would look quite nice. So, and then I can either have a green zip or orange zip or something to match, but I rather like the green with this. So that's what I'm going to go with. I do still have some of this little bit of beige that I can use, but I might use this for a sock project bag rather than a large one. Okay, so everything is cut out now. It's took me about 3 hours, but I've got there. So decisions have been made as well. So I'm making 2 large project bags in this fabric. Let me move my camera. There we go. 2 large bags even in this fabric with the gingham bottoms, one with this kind of like a light terracotta zip and another with a green zip. I'm also doing 1 small project bag, like a sock size, in that fabric with a beige bottom and a bright pumpkin orange zip. The mushroom fabric, I'm doing 1 large project bag with brown base and a beige zip, and then for sock bags I'm doing 2 of these with brown, one with a dark red zipper and one with a kind of a khaki brown zipper. And then the navy blue fox fabric, I'm doing 2 large bags with the brown bottom, one with a brown zip, one with a navy zip, and 1 sock bag with brown bottom and brown zip. That's a lot to try and get in. So there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 large project bags and 4 sock bags. But it has taken 3 hours up until now. But for now, I need some painkillers and a cup of tea because I've got quite the headache. I had one all day, but the painkillers from earlier are wearing off, so I need a top up. I think it's around 4 o'clock now. It can't be far off 4 o'clock. So I don't think I'm going to be getting any more of this done today. I did find my interfacing. It's just lightweight interfacing, but that'll be fine for project bags. I'm not going to wait for any stiffer stuff to come anyway. The one time I did a much stiffer interfacing for a project bag, I didn't like it, so lightweight it is. And everything otherwise, I have my cottons found. I just need to cut, well, I need to press, iron on and cut the interfacing tomorrow, and then I can start sewing. I think I will tomorrow, because tomorrow the forecast is for the weather to be pretty gloomy like it has been today as well. But I really need a cup of tea and then a sit down and maybe some knitting with one of my very overstuffed project packs that I already have. Well, I'm pretty exhausted. It's really weird that something as simple as just cutting out fabric for several hours can make you feel tired. I don't think it's from thinking too much. I think it's just leaning over the table for so long. I don't know. My chronic fatigue can act weird sometimes, and sometimes I get really frustrated with the limited energy that some days, not all days, can bring. I think dinner is going to be throw a few things in a pan with a jar of curry sauce for tea and put some rice on to boil. I think it'll be pretty simple. I'm thinking basically a chopped onion, some frozen peas, some sort of protein, and a jar of korma sauce. I think will have to be it for tonight. But that's okay. I'll sprinkle on some almonds, make it look a bit fancy. I'm just having a knitting break before I have to make dinner. I've had a cup of tea. I do feel a bit better for it, and more painkillers, and they're starting to work. I'm working on the heel of my second a little hocus pocus socks. These are the ones with the cabling down one side of the top of the sock. I'm actually really enjoying making these surprisingly, and just doing one pattern repeat a day means that these are not taking as long. Well, sometimes I do a little bit more. Like today I've done a pattern repeat and I'm doing the heel today, and then tomorrow I think there's 1.5 pattern repeats left, and then the cuff. So maybe I'll finish these tomorrow actually, if I do the cuff on the evening. We'll see how we go, because I'm really cracking on with my sweater that I'm working on. The Flora? Is it the Flora sweater? The Melody Hoffman one. I'll talk about that when I show that. I am already on the second sleeve, so that's flying along too. So this evening I will do the cuff. No, I will do the heel on this, and when I finish the back of the heel I'll put it to one side to do the cabling in the morning, and then I will start working some more on the sweater. I am re-knitting the cuffs on a pair of socks that I knit 4 years ago, that I hardly ever reach for. Again, I'll talk about that another time, but I'm just doing them so in the hopes that I will reach for them more, because the cuff on them is fingering held double, and I should have either done more stitches or a larger needle size, so it just feels a bit stiff. I can get them on perfectly fine, they just don't feel as comfortable as my other socks do. But these ones I'm really loving. So I'm going to work on these, put some food on, relaxing for the evening. We are watching a TV series currently called Dark. It's been out a few years now, but we didn't pick up on it. Oh, I saw the recommended for on Netflix, but I don't know why I didn't start watching it. I think it's because it's a dubbed German series, and I wasn't sure how John would feel about watching a dubbed program. To me, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, I grew up watching like Bruce Lee kung fu movies as a kid, so kind of used to like dubbed stuff. It doesn't bother. After one episode you don't even notice it anymore. But we're really enjoying it. It's thinky and twisty turny, which I really like. So we have a couple of episodes left of that to watch, so probably watch one of those and maybe a short film as well. So that is my plans for this evening. But for now, I'm going to work a bit on this and then make some food.